Hello everybody, welcome back to Ren Gaming. Right, we have a case review for you today. This is the Aeneas by Raijintek. It's very hard to pronounce, and I have spent hours having a look, and everywhere seems to have different ideas of how to pronounce it. It's actually spelled A-E-N-E-A-S. Aeneas. Don't know. But it is a micro ATX tower. A little bit different than a lot of the ATX towers because the motherboard sits horizontally and this one not vertically. But we'll get inside it in a minute. It's also quite a budgety case. They are around £60. I believe Overclockers in the UK is selling them at the moment for 65, although I paid 55 for this when it was on offer. And it's going to be in a little budget build for a friend. So let's have a quick look around the case. From the front we have your optical bay, which is nice because I picked on with an optical bay because the friend is 16 years old and is going to want to be playing CDs and things like that. We have a floppy or something here for a fan controller or a card reader as well. There's a cutout which is handy. Now all along the front here and along the top are these little cutouts, and inside there are these blue LEDs. So there's blue LEDs all the way around as well, which again, for a 16-year-old, it's going to look awesome. He's going to think it's sweet. So on the top, 2 USB 2, 2 USB 3, pretty standard these days. We have your headphone microphone, and there is a on-off switch, and there is a button to turn the LEDs on and off, although there doesn't appear to be a reset switch, which isn't really a thing. From this side, we have a massive window, as you can see. Now this does still have the plastic on it, isn't all broken. I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but there you go. It's all held together with thumb screws as well. Big plastic feet with lots and lots of room underneath to get air in if you're using anything at the bottom. Back of the case, so you're going to start to see some of the included extras. Two 140mm fans in here. Now you can pop these out, you can put 120s in if you want. You could also use a 140 or a 120 all-in-one cooling solution on there too. Now this also has two 120s in the front. Now bear in mind these fans are about £7 each. That's £28 just on fans. So that's almost half the price of this case on fans. So either it's going to be an amazing deal or it's going to be shit. We'll find out in a second. 5 expansion slots here for your cards and a sound card. If you want the water cool and use an external rad or external whatever's, you can. There's 2 holes at the top, which you don't really see in a lot of cases now because most of these things you can get enough rads in there to cool it anyway. Big cutout for your power supply, and there is a big cutout for your motherboard. This side, completely blank. All there is on here is a big ventilated area. This is where your power supply is going to sit with the fan. We like this, happy days. Right, so let's turn it around. You'll have to excuse my arse if I turn around and do this, but there you go. So all the side panels are held on the thumb screws, which do not stay in, but then again, we won't expect to these. It's going to be some flex, but that is solid. Don't know what it's made of. Is it aluminium or steel? Feels like Ali. But it's a high quality side panel. Alright, let's zoom this up and get inside it. There we go. So, inside. Motherboard sits flat, as we've said. So, this motherboard tray does actually come out as well. There's 5 thumb screws, so you can take it out, which is going to be dead handy for when you're fitting your cooler and stuff on there. Everything on the motherboard tray is grommeted as well, and there is a big area at the back of the motherboard to pass any cables through as well that you need to. At the front here you can see the 2 120s, and now you can get 140s and you can get a 200mm fan in there as well. Now you would actually be able to put a radiator in the front. You could probably get a 30mm rad and a set of 25mm fans in there. So if you wanted to use an all-in-one like a H100 or one of the NZXTs, you could get that in there as well. You can see at the top you've got your optical, and this is for your card reader if you are using one. There's plenty of room in here. The drive cages are these kind of caddies that are toolless. You're clipping just there, and the 2.5s would screw into one of these holes depending where you wanted it. You can also screw through and you can fix your hard drives in if that's what you want to do, and they do just pop in. They are very similar to what Next were doing. Next to what NZXT were doing, sorry, with theirs, and again, I hate to keep using the word budget, but it's a perfectly acceptable solution, and they are very, very handy. So you've got the 140 at the bottom as well. Now, I have been in this case previously because I was making this video out in my back garden originally, but it's too noisy. And unfortunately, one of the fan blades on the top 140 up here is broken. Which you can kind of excuse, I suppose. I'm not going to bother sending it back for the sake of a fan blade, but you know, it's a shame because I mean, so far this case has been very, very good. Right, so we'll flip it round. Again, flexible panel and a magnetic dust filter on these as well, which is handy for cleaning. So when we look on this side, this is where your motherboard, this is where your power supply is going to sit, and you can see you can get really any length. There's not going to be a problem with getting a power supply in there at all. Width-wise it's fine as well. Lots and lots of clearance for your cables here as well, for your hard drives. And as I say, you can get these to pop up, so you can have your cables if you need to coming out around the back, although these are all grommeted like I say. There is a big cutout in the motherboard tray as well for your cooler, so that is not going to be any trouble at all. The fans at the front are running off a Matx, or you can plug them into your motherboard. So you've got two options there. This one's the same, and these ones are the same at the back. There is a Matx, or there's a 3-pin connector on there as well. So all of the internal cables, they all appear to be sleeved in black, apart from the HD audio, which never is on anything, but everything else is, which is nice. So quick look at the front and the bottom. So there's no ventilation in the bottom, so what I was saying earlier about it being off the ground was a load of rubbish. You can completely ignore that. This whole front section here is dust filtered, and there are intakes all the way around, as you can see. Now the front panel pops off, but because of the LED, you can see there is a cable attached. But this is a removable dust filter as well. Not as removable as we would probably like, but you can still get a vacuum on it if necessary. You can clean it. The front of this, it also pops off, so this is a dust filter, and here you can see that you've got the two 120s, but this is where you can put the 200mm fan if you desire. The top also comes off. This is going to be a little awkward because the top houses all of the USBs, so this just lifts. Well, actually, this slides, so this is your dust filter for the top. If you're using it as an intake, which I probably won't be, I'll probably be using it as an outtake. So you can see that the top does just pop off, and now excuse the amateurism of this, but I've not actually done that bit. So the top does pop off, and you can see the leads along the top there as well. So, but I'm not going to be putting a radiator in the top. You could get if you get a 120, you can get a 120 in there if you want, or you could put a 240. You would struggle with No, you can put a 240 either above or in here, although you would struggle with using the optical bay if you did that. So you could have a 120 mounted there, down, or you could use there's lots of options. So I'm just going to pop the side panel back on and we'll have a quick look at clearances. Just a screwdriver. So, graphics card length. Sensibly 320mm. So 32 centimetres, which is enough again for most cards on the market these days. Clearance for your tower cooler if you're using one. It's about 200mm, just under, because obviously you're going to have to get the top on. Again, so there's not going to be many tower coolers that aren't going to fit it. But of course, if you were using the rear on here for an all-in-one, then it wouldn't be an issue at all. I mean, you could even have the radiator up here and then a 120 fan just here as well. So then you could have that exhaust in. And there are so many options with it, and it is a very, very good case. The bag of accessories that you would expect that you get with most of these cases, no case badge, I wasn't expecting one, but there is all sorts in here. Including a little speaker cable, which is nice for your motherboard. So, if we're going to do a score, oh, that went the wrong way. Just to excuse the extreme close-up of my face. And if you'll excuse the video, it's a little bit echoey, but we're in the office without any furniture, because I've just had it painted. So, a score. Price-wise, it's fantastic. It's very, very, very cheap for the quality of the case. It looks fantastic, and you can see just by looking at it, it's going to be very easy to build in. It is sturdy. There's no flex or buckle in the case or the chassis at all. There is lots of plastic, but I knew I was buying a case with lots of plastic on because that's what I want it for. I don't want a sleek build. You know, we want something that looks a little bit flashy and lights up with LEDs. So. The only letdown is the fan blade that snaps on the back, or was snapped. It's no trouble, I can put another 140 in it, but you know, it does take away from it just a touch. So, when gaming, value, it's a gold, because it's everything you'd ever need. For 55 to 65 pounds, it's a fantastic case. I mean, it is a fantastic case. It is, like I say, it's going to be a joy to build in, especially with the motherboard tray coming out and all the rest of it. I'm really looking forward to it. Quality, unfortunately, it's only going to get a silver, and I think obviously I've got a bad one. Now, if this had been sent to me from Raijintek, I probably would have excused it, but it isn't. I've actually bought this myself to build in, so it is going to get a silver award for the quality, but only because of the fan. If the fan was alright, it would have got a gold. So in the next month or so, I will get a build up in this case, and we'll show you how easy it looks to build in anyway. So any questions or comments, or if you actually work for Raijintek and want to send me a spare 140mm fan, that'd be fantastic. Like I always say, chuck them underneath, anything you want to say or ask, and I will see you all very, very soon.